Hey, Sam Knight here at the YDSA conference Saturday night panel. We came here to talk to our future teen overlords to find out what they're up to and what they hope to accomplish in the next few years with the Democratic Socialists of America. What do you think people are getting out of the YDSA conference here in DC?
I think that this is by far the best conference we've ever put on, and I'm not just saying that because I helped organize it. I think we've got some of the most talented young organizers leading sessions and teaching skills, which is something that's new. We can see the depth and breadth of our quality leaders all across the country that have come out to both teach and learn from one another, and that's really, really giving me a lot of hope for the future of YDSA.
Yeah, I think for YDSA, this is their biggest conference ever, and the biggest conference that the American left has held. And YDSA is bigger than any socialist organization on the American left since SDS in the late 60s. So I think this is really a historic moment for them. And I think they're really trying to figure out what kind of best campaigns would be best for them. Talked about Medicare for All, labor solidarity, what their orientation towards electoral work is, what their movement strategy is. I think it's for them to decide. I was once a teen, not a teen anymore, so I'm really excited to see what they can do together.
What sort of organizing do you hope to do in the next year?
In the next year, I think that we're in a really great position to really catapult YDSA into being, playing a really determining role in the student movement, which is only set to grow. We had a really successful fall campus drive last fall where we set out to reach 100 new campuses. We had 300 campuses registered for the fall campus drive. We have 80 schools here this weekend, and it's been a huge success, and I think we're really in a good position to really build on that.
They're really interested in labor work, how they can reinvigorate the labor movement, win free college, also reform the Medicare system to actually be something that benefits everybody. I think for them, they feel like, especially the people that aren't millennials, but Gen Z, have told me that the first traumatic experience they had was the economic crash of 2008, and that they fundamentally are rooted in anti-capitalism, so their life goal is to overthrow capitalism.
What would you like to see both YDSA and DSA do in the next few years? What kind of work?
Okay, well, what kind of work? I would love to see us organize in low-income communities. I'd love to see us organize working-class people of color, the undocumented, and I'd love to see us get a lot bigger and a lot more diverse. I want us to be the institutional threat to the neoliberal Democratic Party. I want us to be, like, we are existing in a moment where public opinion amongst young people has never been this progressive, this left in history. So if we can become the organization, the hub for people who are trying to do activism, achieve social justice, I think that's going to be very important. And I think that can be pivotal because now millennials are like the biggest electoral voting bloc, and it's not just like not all of our tactics have to be electoral, but if we have more millennials in DSA than we have in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, I think that we can really start to transform the politics of this country, the standards, the limits, and we can really start to radically rearrange to create the world that we deserve.
What I'd like to see is for us to follow through on some of the campaigns and policies that we have dedicated ourselves to pushing for, things like Medicare for All, things like really building a fight back within the labor movement, putting a real strong electoral foot forward that can really challenge, definitely the Republican Party and the capital D Democrats that have, sometimes been obstacles for progressive change. So I think following through with those things and really showing that we're a force that has staying power, I think is a big priority for us.
We want Medicare for All, and we want it now, and we want campus labor organizing, solidarity between students and workers, and solidarity between students who are workers and the workers who are so precarious on campuses, be that the custodial workers or the food service workers or the professors who are visiting or adjuncts who don't have any job protection. We want to build that solidarity so that no matter what happens with Janice or any of these other Trump administration bullshit things, like, we can keep building the movement and we can build strength and power.
I want to see DSA get to the level of legitimacy as a civil rights movement. I want to see DSA be the revolutionary movement in the United States. I want to see us on every college campus, even though it's very idealistic. I want to see us on every campus. I want to see when young people think about getting involved in politics, when young people think about socialism, I want them to think about organizing with the DSA, building power and building a radical consciousness.
YDSA has the potential to be the biggest student organization in American history, something that surpasses SDS, that can be more militant. I think a lot of them are very young. They're like 18, 19 years old, really trying to figure out what exactly they're going to fight for when they come up with the plans. I'm very excited to see what exactly that is, and I think our orientation to them is long live the dictatorship of the teens and socialism will win.
What sort of organizing are you guys doing on campus there?
So we have flagshipped Medicare for All campaign and also the DREAM Act. So we're organizing around immigration and healthcare, but we have workshops and teach-ins about, like we just had one about black liberation and socialism. We've had one about gender. We've had one about sexuality and socialism. Yeah, we're really trying to hit all of the angles. We're, of course, like a multi-angle platform, like we have a multi-issue platform, but we're really trying to build Medicare for all.
On my campus, we do a lot of support for Dreamers and immigrant rights is what we've been focusing on a lot recently, because we've got several comrades in our community who are dealing with that firsthand, and there's a strong movement in Connecticut to organize around that and support both people seeking asylum and also supporting a Clean Dream Act.
On my campus, we've done anti-fascist work. A student was doxxed by a neo-Nazi GTA professor. We were in part of the effort to have him removed from the university. The demand never got met, but he stepped down from teaching, so we consider that at least an immediate win. And now we're moving on to a Fight for 15 labor campaign on campus this semester. To emphasize on building movement and strength and power, especially is the labor aspect, especially, like Michelle said, we're going to be under Janet soon, and a lot of states are going to be right to work. As bad of a thing as this is, it also may give us the opportunity to have labor unions engage with rank and file again, which DSA and YDSA can play a very crucial role in creating the socialist unionism in the United States.
What do you think DSA heads are going to do at the midterms in 2018?
I think DSA in the midterms will elect more socialists in a cycle than the left has, and we just elected the most socialists in a cycle this last cycle than we have in generations. And I think this cycle, DSA will surpass the Socialist Party of Debs' era to elect the most socialist for an organization in American history.